It's time for Nip Talk.
Okay, next. So now I'm bringing out the Nip Tuck 911. This is where we talk about crazy things in the news about plastic surgery. And I know you've heard the story.
Yes.
You know Linda Evangelista.
I do.
Supermodel. Do you know her personally?
I wish I did. No, I don't. I would ask
I
for
remember her
tips.
from the 90s.
Yes,
man.
she
Oh, wow.
is a smoke.
Yeah. So you guys may or may not know that last year, Linda Evangelista, the supermodel, sued the parent company of Coolsculpting. Coolsculpting is a treatment there that uses cryolipolysis, which basically is freezing fat to get rid of it. So she filed a lawsuit saying that she was disfigured by paradoxical adipose hyperplasia. I'm really proud I got that out. This
Wow.
whole show, I
Okay,
was
so like
am
in
I gonna butcher
English,
that?
what does that mean?
So it basically means, paradoxical means something you don't expect, adipose is fat, and hyperplasia means growth of. So what happens is in PAH, so we're going to simplify it,
Okay.
PAH,
Dumb it down
you put
here.
the Coolsculpting on. Instead of fat going away, you actually get more fat and it gets really hard.
What? So
Yeah.
I was lied to? Okay, I
You
did.
were lied to?
I
Did you do Coolsculpting?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
I did Coolsculpting.
Tell me about it.
Geez, when was this? What year are we in? 22? Let's see,
we?
the last 2 years. Yeah, the last 2 years don't count. Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
I think 2016 is when I got 2016, and the whole pitch on it was it'll freeze and destroy your fat cells,
That's
and then
true.
you expel them,
Yes.
whether it's
Yep.
like pee or sweating
Not
or
really,
whatever.
but
that's how
go.
it was explained to me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is awesome. Sign me up, right?
And?
Holy Lord, it hurt, number one.
Really?
Oh, terrible. It was so
Okay.
painful.
I would
and
say
so
most people. Go
Oh
ahead, I'll
no,
tell
and
you
the place
myself.
I was at was like, that's okay, we'll give you an iPad. It'll make you forget that you're in pain. No, it didn't. So not only am I laying there freezing to death, because it is cool, it's
Right, it's really
freezing,
cold, yeah.
it's cold, and the room's cold, as you know,
Yeah.
in med spas and hospital rooms, it's freezing cold because all the machines have to
You're
stay.
just like an icicle.
Oh my lands. And so I'm like cocooned and I'm shaking. I'm watching reruns
Right.
of
Is this
90210 on this
Well, at least you had
iPad.
something good to watch.
I don't know. At this point, I hated everybody on the show because I was just angry. I was like, I don't even care about this storyline anymore. I'm not invested. And so I'm freezing to death, and I was probably in there for like 2 hours. I did multiple.
doing
I did
multiple locations,
flanks,
yeah.
middle. Really was what I was concerned about. And it's interesting because it takes like a whole team to stick
Yeah.
your stuff
Oh,
in
it's a
there.
process.
Oh, it's a process. And so you're standing
It's like
there.
getting into like one of those like girdle things almost.
Oh, it's
except
awful.
it's just like one body
oh,
part.
it's the worst feeling. So you're standing there freezing. You're in, those like paper bikinis they hand out.
right.
So it's just, and people are marking up all of your imperfections.
So
it's the worst
would you
experience.
recommend?
No.
So what do you think about your results though?
Here's what's crazy though. I can't tell if it's just that, I don't know. I didn't get, like, a lot of women got the indentions, the weird, like, they were like, oh, my stomach's indented if I do my, like, or my pooch.
Shouldn't get that.
Well, but sometimes, like, it just because of the way,
yeah,
because
right.
you have
Yeah.
to, they suck you into this thing, and it's, imagine
It looks
just being
really weird right after you
pinched.
pull it
Oh,
out.
it's terrible.
Yeah,
You pull
you're
it out,
like,
and I was
oh my God, I am disfigured.
oh my God, when they pulled it out,
But
I
that's
was
short term.
No, but it is. But when they pulled it out, I was like, "You put it in reverse. This is not okay. Like you put
Wait, were you
everything
putting
back."
that in?
I freaked
All right, so
out.
let me tell you what it's supposed to do. And actually, let me tell you my experience, because I had a Coolsculpting machine. All right, so
Had is the operative word.
we'll get to that.
Okay.
So basically what it's supposed to do is the machine pulls an area of fat into this device, which puts a very cold temperature to it. The process causes the fat to go through apoptosis, which is cell death, and then over 4 to 6 months, the fat is basically extruded by your body.
This sounds so soft compared to the experience. The way you're describing it, awful.
They say that you should, on average, get a 20% reduction in the fat in the location that you had the treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So I will tell you that overall, the complication rate for Coolsculpting is pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look online at places that measure satisfaction rates with procedures, it actually has a pretty high satisfaction rate, over 80%, which I'm a little bit surprised about, but that's what the
I
satisfaction
guess
rate
it
is.
all goes back to the candidate thing
Yeah.
because I mean, girlfriends of mine have done it and they're like, I've spent thousands of dollars. I don't see anything.
Yeah.
But I think what they're probably trying to see though are results of loose skin, which we have to
Right.
emphasize.
And-
Coolsculpting does not.
Yes, and that's where like having a good consult is important, and like where sometimes like med spas will fail because you don't have like a surgeon to come in and talk like surgeon talk to you. Like when I would do consults for Coolsculpting, like I absolutely brought up the loose skin issue. And I think a lot of like weeding out people who are not going to be happy is making sure that what they actually want to get rid of is fat and not loose skin.
Right.
You're 100%
Because you have to cut and tuck that.
But there are some risks. There are some risks of it. The risks that are stated are surface irregularities, which you talked about that, body asymmetry, Probably one of the biggest, I think, is less than expected outcomes. And then lastly is the PAH. And there's a picture up now of Linda Evangelista. I wish I could find a picture of like, I mean, I know it's probably not out there. A picture
Oh,
of
that's
like,
her leg. Okay, so
yeah,
we're looking at.
she's pointing at that little bulge right there. I mean, it's really hard to tell from her pictures, like, because I always want to play devil's advocate on everything. And it's like, okay, was this like really a big deal? Was it really disfiguring? Because I will tell you, I had Coolsculpting from 2012, and I quit using my machine around 2018, and I'll explain why in a minute. I never had a single patient come back and say that they had PAH. Now. So I would love to have seen her pictures and like evaluate them.
But you were probably vetting them to know that they were, you know what I'm saying? It all goes back to having an actual person who knows what they're doing.
That does help.
Because if a woman came into you and said, oh, loose skin, you'd have been like, this isn't you're just not.
True that, yeah, true. But let me tell you why I quit using it. And I have nothing against the Coolsculpting company. I'm not trying to drag them through the dirt. I'm just telling you why I quit using my machine. My biggest issue with the machine and the procedure was that the outcomes were not dependable. You know, I would do one patient and she would be like, okay, I can see a difference, I'm happy. I would take another patient who I vetted, thought was a truly a good patient, do the procedure, and it's like the result was just so minor. Like I would literally have to like print out their before, print out their after, and be like, yeah, I mean, I can see a little bit of a difference, but
I think that's kind of what happened to me. I was like, no, okay.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, holy cow, I've got to,
I just, given the fact that I can do liposuction, like because I was having outcomes that weren't always ideal and I was having patients who were unhappy, I just kind of started training more people just to get liposuction. I mean, liposuction really is like one of the safest surgeries I do.
Well, I'm not going to lie though, Doc. When I see that, when it's the...
I mean, I know it looks rough, but like of the recoveries, like in the span of recoveries, I feel like it's kind of like a low to mid. Like it's really just not that bad.
I just seeing that, but I'm also.
But let me tell you though, the outcomes of liposuctions in the right hand are always exactly what you want. I mean,
but does it come back though?
It doesn't. I mean, that's kind of a myth that if you get liposuctions come back. Yeah, I mean, if you go home and eat like 20 boxes of ding dongs, like it's.
Well, then I'm out. That was that was my diet plan.
The other thing the last thing that I had against the Coolsculpting machine, and this is kind of just a really kind of a side note, is I didn't really like their business model. Like, they charged me every time I used the machine. Like, I pay this big amount for the machine, and then they want to charge me each time. And it's not like a one-time charge. Like, they make you buy these cards that like have like 10 uses on it. Well, that card's like $5,000, and so.
Wait, so it's like a Dave & Buster's card?
Yeah,
like
totally.
You have like.
And not only that, but you have to have it for each area. Like,
but you already bought the machine.
Preaching to the choir, sister. Like, I got kind of sick of it.
I don't know, Coolsculpting. We need to revisit this business model.
I mean, it's popular. It's still popular. I personally don't. I've been trying to sell. Anyone want to buy a Coolsculpting machine? I've literally
we'll
been
put it on
trying to
Craigslist.
So anyway.
Doc will sign it. It'll have some value.
I'll sign it, yeah. I thought about maybe doing something fun with it, like on social media, like, I don't know. You remember that scene in Office Space where they like beat the printer to death?
Yeah, that would be, listen.
It's a big machine. It probably would beat me up.
Yeah, it probably would.